So we are in a really deep discussion here. We're just gonna jump right into it. We are so glad that you decided to tune in and watch Let's Get Chatty today. So hey girl, hey guy.
Hi.
If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, real quick, hit that bell down there and subscribe, share, and give us a thumbs up. What we're going to talk about today, I believe, is something that's happening all across every nation. It goes across waters, the Atlantic, it goes all across the ocean. And today we're just going to jump right into what we were talking about before we started rolling. And one thing that is dealing with conflict within relationships.
Or dealing with people as well, but within relationships.
Within, yes.
If any of you have been watching, what's the name of the show?
Marriage Boot Camp?
Marriage Boot Camp.
I think it's marriage. Yes,
Boot
thank
Camp.
you.
The current season.
Yes. What's his name? I think I'm probably saying it wrong. Vado and Tahiry. Tahiry. Thank you. So what we showed, we know how TV works. They do a bunch of clipping and editing and stuff. But what they showed us was him getting her, and he just like
Bart and Homer.
He started choking her, and I think it was a cameraman that probably eventually kind of pulled him off. But what they showed us was the men in the room sitting there that did absolutely nothing, and they showed her face. Now whether it was right after that, we don't know.
Yeah, it could be another clip.
Yeah, but she was just kind of sitting there like to me, she looked like she was in shock.
Probably wasn't expecting him to do that.
But what? You made a face. What?
Because I felt like she made like a smirk, almost like now they finally see, like
it's out the closet,
right?
Like
now they finally see, and she kind of had that. Like she wasn't. That wasn't brand new.
But there are other clips. Like I feel like, how do you know, not like the nagging wife. But when someone's constantly, I know she was putting him down, constantly nagging. She was, just all day. And I even think he had mentioned like she hit me first. But what they showed us, I don't know. This is all allegedly. But had she allegedly hit him, how much do you expect your man to take? Like, do you expect, you ugly, you fat, you can't pay the bills, you don't need your haircut, your breath stink, your teeth yellow. How much do you expect him to take before he responds? Do you not want him to respond? And then if she hit him and you still don't want to respond, and he's got this reaction, he's got this plan looping in his head, these things that you said. And unfortunately, that's how our mind, it's like a record. It'll play that stuff over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And then
that sounds very toxic. Sounds very toxic.
So people suffer when they hold things on the inside, I believe. And at some point, I do believe that there is a breaking point.
We are.
But at the same time, I also believe in controlling your emotions and controlling your physical actions. I feel like if I can get upset to over bowling at over a 10, and if I'm talking to you regular and I'm livid, but if I'm not putting my hands on you and if I'm controlling myself, you could be at a 20.2.
Okay.
But control yourself. I feel like regardless if she hit him.
Should you speak to each other when you get to that point though? When you get to a point of like anger and you seeing red and black and purple and green.
Not if you're seeing all the colors. Not if you're seeing all the colors.
Conversation, or should you just like dismiss yourself?
I feel like not if you're seeing all of those colors, but
I think at that point, if you are at that point, you need to just,
But sometimes
it's crazy too, because
need to walk away.
when you are in a relationship, people know people know those pressure points. You around somebody so long, you know, like if you get into anger, you know exactly what to say and do to get underneath that person's skin, and you're causing them to react, or that person is reacting, and you got to the point to react. So it's just like
sometimes dismissing someone or cutting off the conversation, ignoring them, whatever, to end quote unquote end the conflict. Sometimes that can affect someone negatively as well because they don't understand. Yeah. Like, hey, this is the point we need to cut it off because it's not working. They're like, no, let's figure it out. We're gonna work it out right now. Like, they don't understand that, hey, you know what? This is not a cool moment for me.
I recently found out what emasculating means.
Ooh,
I didn't know what emasculating means, but I've recently emasculation. I've just recently found out.
Definition?
Yes, please. Just so we can have some clarity on that, and I want it to like be
What?
Feel the Holy Ghost.
She over here, y'all. She over here.
Well, you was playing the video, and I could hear her speaking to him. And
I was playing the marriage, and
I think I've heard a point to where he said that he was still in connection, and he had a relationship still with his, I think it was baby mother, or he still talked to her, and they still had a good relationship. And you could see just the disappointment on her face. She didn't know. She just looked like it was just almost flipped her world upside down.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if that may have caused her to like lash out. You know, and become angry and lash out. Even with that, it's still toxic. But what is this?
It means to deprive a man of his male role or identity, or to make someone or something weaker or less effective.
So when you were just talking about you ugly, you stinky,
your breath stinky. You're taking away his masculinity. Like, and you know, a lot of women do it. I think a lot, even unknowingly, not knowing, a lot of women do it.
I agree.
In ignorance. Yeah. But what were you going to say about? You said you recently.
I recently found out what it is. I recently found out what it is and what it meant, and it just caused me to like research and just be like, well, you know, what is this? What, you know, how do people? How can a woman do this? What causes? You know, like what's the response? When a man closes himself off and he shuts down and he just disconnects, and that is a result of being.
So is it good? Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say, is it good sometimes to kind of step back and evaluate the situation?
You know what? I think evaluating a relationship is always good, especially when you take note that your man is checking out or shutting down. That means that means whatever you say to him is probably going in one ear and out the other.
And sometimes there could be multiple reasons. Sometimes it's not you always nagging. Sometimes it's not what you say. Even sometimes women, if you are emasculating a man, we don't know this a lot of times. But sometimes it's not always you and what you're saying and what you're doing to him. Sometimes he just goes to a space. You don't know what he's experienced. You don't know, just the place that he goes to necessarily. So sometimes it's not always you or what you've done or what you've said. It's just probably like a thing. It could be sometimes just a place or a thing for him. Like, hey, I can't handle this. I'm just going to my space. And it's not necessarily what you said to him. It's just sometimes maybe he doesn't know how to communicate through this conflict. A lot of people don't know how to deal with conflict. And I think especially in a relationship, dealing with conflict is very important.
It is. We were talking about earlier. What were we saying about marriage, and this is called Marriage Boot Camp. We were talking about marriage and just how I was saying how like what is the percentage of just men being raised in homes where they don't have a male figure or they don't have an example, or what kind of example do they have,
or a healthy relationship?
Of a healthy relationship.
That's good.
I don't know what that percent is, but in most cases, like I've heard, I watch Red Table Talk, and there's this particular episode where Will Smith came on, Jada Pinkett Smith, her husband. He came on and he said when they were at the beginning of their marriage, I believe, they were at a party in front of people, and she, in front of their friends or in front of everybody, she cussed at him. And he said because he grew up in a home where he saw his daddy hit it and cuss his mama and beat his mama, he couldn't take that. He said he took her to a room and said, what we not going to do, he said, we are not going to raise our voices at each other, and we are not going to cuss at each other. He said, I cannot handle that and be with you. And he said she started crying. So that, I think when you're in a relationship, there are some boundaries you have to set. Say, we're gonna argue, don't ever put your hands on me, don't ever choke, don't pull my hair, don't ever call me out of my name, ever. I don't care how mad you get, how on 10 or 20, black, blue, purple, what you see, don't ever call me out of my name. And that's just a boundary that you have. And when you are with two people who understand that, and you have that boundary, and that's the level of respect you all want to show towards each other, do it, stick to it, and then I think you can just flourish and go up from there. But going back to what I was saying, I think it's good when you start to evaluate and step back. At what point do you say, you know what, we need to invite somebody else in with wisdom? We can't, me and you, we're not on the same page. So what we need to do is find someone, a marriage counselor or someone, a trusted friend that we can sit down, go have dinner over and just start talking, or find another married couple who's been married for 20, 30 years, whatever, and start pouring out and start allowing them to mentor you. There's the word. Mentor.
I want to touch on how it's so common for, it used to be the man being the abuser, right? But now you see a lot of times where the woman is the abuser in the relationship. So I kind of wanted just a little tad bit hit on it, ladies, for a little bit. I want to say why is that, but I feel like a lot of people have seen, you said there's not a lot of people that have healthy relationships. Examples.
They didn't grow up with them.
They didn't grow up with it.
So I'm thinking maybe it's moments where they feel out of control. I don't know if you're feeling out of control and you feel like, hey, this is the way I can put you in control, or this is the way that I can control the situation, but it's just like rampant. I don't know if you've seen or have people before you where they're kind of like women controlling women, or like what it is that kind of made you this way, or has affected you to be this way. I don't know if you've been in a previous abusive relationship to where it's like, now I'm in this one, he's never going to put his hands on me, so I'm going to control him now, I'm going to run him now, and this is my way of protecting myself. I don't know what that is. Have you guys noticed this trend?
It's not uncommon. It is heard of. It's a little funny because I had said before we started recording earlier, I was like, anytime you physically go at a male, usually it's always an uneven. It starts off uneven, and what's the word am I trying to? It's not an even level playing field. Usually men are stronger than women. So anytime you got you a masculine man, or he's physically strong,
right, mentally, because we're emotional, so mentally,
they're more deemed to be a stronger, stable being now.
Yeah, so anytime he letting you just go off on him and scratch him, slap him,
is that mercy and grace? No,
he's extending to you mercy and grace. He's letting you, because he very well could just turn around and knock you out.
Don't think you're big and bad and you put your hands on a man and you getting away with it. You are not big and bad.
And then how long you want him to take it? But at the same time, if you're hitting him, he can just simply grab your hands and just be like, hey, stop hitting me.
So his response, it should not be a reaction of hitting you back.
It should be like one of defense, like, no.
Is it different? So is it different? Well, but he said she hit me.
He had mentioned that, yeah.
So that was a reaction instead of him.
No, he probably had enough.
I agree. Sometimes there's a breaking point. But is there a difference between a boyfriend and a girlfriend versus a husband and wife? Like if you were to have those kind of issues in your relationship,
like
is it different?
These days,
I think so.
boyfriends and girlfriends have been together longer than husbands and wives.
A lot of times they have.
I say no because when because I'm not married. When I get married, divorce is not an option. We gonna
so she gonna get beat and it's just I'm just
But on that boyfriend and girlfriend level, my mindset, I'm talking from my mindset, I can always walk away. Whether we've been together 15, 10 years, you're my boyfriend, I can always walk away. But if you're my husband, we're gonna have a clear understanding that we're not doing that. And we're not gonna go there. But if it happens,
but you should have the same understanding in a relationship, period. Boyfriend and girlfriend.
That understanding should be there.
Yeah, I agree.
and that's a different covenant. We didn't say I do because death do us part.
Boyfriend and girlfriend.
We ain't got no covenant. You my man, we don't have a covenant.
You have a point. You definitely have a
So
point.
boyfriend and girlfriend, you're not committed.
So you're saying at this point, there's been choking and hitting and verbal abuse. Y'all should just both walk away. Is that what you're saying?
If you're a boyfriend and girlfriend,
it's just time to walk away. It's time to walk away.
I don't know. I would say I don't know because I feel like the stakes are the same. Both relationships, love is involved. Whether you boyfriend and girlfriend.
Tina Turner said it best. What's love got to do with it?
Love is involved either way. Yes, you can walk away, but in the same, but you can still walk away either or. A lot of people are taught to stay in a marriage regardless, work whatever out.
Yeah.
But sometimes, where is the point where it's like, okay, this marriage is not worth it? I won't say this marriage is not worth it, but where is the point where you can say, okay, we tried it, whatever, let me walk away?
But you know that goes into like you both wanting the marriage.
Right.
But if you want the marriage,
if a person wants to walk away, then that means they don't want the marriage.
Walk away, Renee.
So how do you make somebody want a marriage that does not want
thing.
the marriage?
Oh.
I really feel like before walking away, you definitely should be having some counseling.
Amen.
Right.
You should both be doing some individual
exhausted
work.
all options.
Right. Thank you.
Exactly.
How's that, girl?
Yes. We've done this.
We've exhausted
done that.
everything. Right.
We've done.
Yeah. We exercised.
We compromised. We've adjusted.
We've
submitted. You can't be like, I'm tired of this marriage, and you haven't done anything.
You haven't tried.
I mean, you haven't even like.
I like to say it's always so easy to give up because giving up is always the easy option. When you work through something, you have to put effort, time, and a lot of work towards something. A lot of people don't know how to work things out because it's always just, the easier option is always like the green light. And it's always not greener on the other side.
Oh my gosh. Why do people think that the grass is greener on the other side?
Because it look cut, but they don't know who trimmed it.
So the grass is cut a certain way, you getting over there thinking you gonna get that nice and you don't even cut it the way it's been cut.
So social media. I want to say something about social media. I'm trying to think. Social media can also play a role. So this is what I've seen. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I noticed that a lot of people play prank videos. So they have prank videos, and they're playing like they're beating up each other. And then it's almost like this violent thing between couples is okay. I don't know if you guys ever watched a video on YouTube that way.
They be pranking. I gave Babe a back eye, or you talking about like those kind of videos? They be joking about hitting.
Wow. But a lot of times I feel like because it's so commonly seen that it's just like an acceptable thing from both ways. Not understanding that when you do that, you violate respect. You're breaking boundaries. And once you violate something, sometimes it's hard to, I won't say get that thing back together, but sometimes it's hard to kind of mend that. Because I feel like once you violate someone, you did something to their mind. Of course you did something to their body, but sometimes it's hard to mend that.
You know what? That's good what you just said. Like, once that line has been crossed, how do you kind of start to rebuild from there and come back from there?
It takes time.
Well, you're getting on something, because I can imagine like the amount of people that have been like, for instance, you have a husband that may have cheated on his wife. Okay, so you violated her. Her trust,
right? In the
her
relationship,
vulnerability,
right? And commitment if you're a husband.
So like when people do restore their marriage, or they make a decision that they're going to restore their marriage, they're going to stay and they're going to work on it. I mean, I would assume that is definitely a process. Like,
yes, and you know what? I've seen couples. I've been to like little silly stuff. But there's been couples. Go ahead.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say there's been couples where they said they've been at that place to where they were divorced. They were no longer in love with each other, and everything was lost. But they took the time. They went through different routes, and you could never tell that they were at that place. That they were at a place where they didn't love each other. You could never tell the person cheated. Like, because
you know what? I'm pretty sure there's been a lot of marriages that have gone through some things.
Oh,
Where you're like, dang,
how do you stay with them?
Oh yeah.
How do you stay with her?
Man,
But they get past. You know what? That just makes you think. Sometimes when you do go through things, that may seem unrepairable,
right,
or there can be no restoration.
That's good.
It kind of lets you know. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. No, this is what I want. This is mine.
Yes.
Come on
This
now.
is my commitment. I've made a commitment to this,
Hey,
and it
girl.
kind of wakens you up to like what's in the inside.
Come
How
on.
much love you have for that person.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's good, because that love, that level of commitment causes you to fight.
Oh, I love
It
that.
causes bring out. We time taking my earrings off. We gonna do this thing, and I don't mean physically fight,
yes.
but it causes you to buckle down, causes you to self-evaluate, do
sober
marriage
up. You be
evaluation.
like,
oh, hold up.
Whoa.
Go back to
We've been a little bit too content here.
right.
We've been too comfortable.
And
These pillow tops.
I think in order to get to that place, you have, in my personal opinion, because you guys are not married, I would have to say to go back to the basics. To go back to the basics of when you guys used to have date night. When y'all just had little
all in each
time to
other's
kiss.
face.
quickies. Is what I was going to say. I'm sorry.
What?
Giving each other some little kisses.
Yes, like going back to
have
those
juicy
moments
kisses?
where you connect. I
Still
said,
get them
I
juicy
said
kisses.
cookies.
Oh.
But that's real. If you're in a marriage, like
Yeah, I think it's important to still date, kind of serenade your husband, your wife. And I think it's important, especially if you are two busy people, you have to say, hey, we're gonna set this time out on every Wednesday night between 5 and midnight. It's just us. Whatever you want to do. If you want to drive down to Corpus Christi, you want to drive down.
Our connection needs to be
to
every day.
LA,
It
Miami,
needs to be every day. There needs to be acknowledgement every single day. Every day you've been blessed to see another day.
I agree.
You should be acknowledging your spouse.
I agree.
Doors today. I think you have to take that time to build. Anything that's solid on foundation, has a solid foundation, you can build. We used to sing this song, the something, right? Is it the righteous man build his house upon the sand? It's an old song. Anything that's not solid, it's like quicksand. You start sinking. And if you find yourself in your relationship or your marriage is starting to sink, stop. Set some time in your schedule. Sit down, connect with your significant other, and say, "Hey, we're not on the same page anymore. We're not seeing eye to eye. How can we get back on track here?" Because if you don't stop, what will happen is it will begin to create a wedge between the two of you,
Right.
and then you all have drifted so far apart. Everything begins to be okay. And
I agree. So, and I want to encourage you too, you guys. Whatever is lost can be gained.
Can be found.
Can be gained, can be found. I like that one too. But whatever is lost can be gained.
Yes.
So if trust is lost, trust can be gained.
Yes.
You just have to put that effort to it.
Yep.
And I like what you said about the foundation. You guys, I don't know if you've seen an old house that has a messed up foundation. Every builder does not tear down the house. But what they would do is rebuild. Right. We work
Repair
on
the
that foundation. They'll send people in to work on that foundation versus just tearing down and demolishing what was built
Starting
there.
all over.
You know what? I seen a house once. Seen this house that had been totally burned down, and once they had cleared out the rubble, what was still there? That foundation was still there.
That's amazing.
And sometimes you had just said that sometimes it's costly to repair the foundation,
Right.
but
It's cheaper than rebuilding a new home.
clap on that. And I think that's a good close right there. That's a good close. Hey, so subscribe below and share. Thank you all for watching so much. Thank you all for subscribing. We appreciate it.